Hello everyone, I'm Ollie, one of the marketing and CRM consultants here at HubGem. We specialize in HubSpot implementation for the education sector. And in this YouTube video series, I'm going to be outlining the AI features that HubSpot CRM offers and of course how we can use them. So today's session is all about looking at how we can use the AI to help us generate reports so that you can create something like the dashboard in the background with some of your reports, perhaps for your admissions team performance or something like that. Now, the Copilot, the AI tools that we can use to create reports at the moment will only do single object reports for us. That's something really important to remember, because if you're giving it sort of large prompts across different objects, it's going to struggle, and it isn't quite designed for that at the moment. But with that being said, if we very quickly want to find out how many deals we created this week or how many marketing emails that were delivered last month, those sort of single object, very quick questions, rather than having to go and create those reports for ourselves, we can just go ahead and ask Copilot. So the first sort of way that we can go ahead and do this, like I said, from whatever screen you can access it, Copilot from, at the top in the navigation bar, hit Copilot. And here's an example that I did just a moment ago where I asked Copilot to create a report of contacts grouped by how many contacts were created this year. You can see it gives you quite a nice example of, or not really an example, more so text for what it's actually gone ahead and done here. So it kind of tells you in bold all of the different sort of sources and data points that it used to go ahead and create the graph for you. And then when you scroll down, you can see it sort of created a bar graph for us in this example. So to go ahead and do this, let's start a new chat. If you know the prompt, of course, you can go ahead and use it, which is just as simple as create a report. But of course, if we come into all of our prompts, it will be underneath the sort of generate sort of tab of prompts. Or of course, if you favorite it, or perhaps even it's in featured, you can see it at the top there. So we can use generate a report. What it will then do, like it always does with these prompts, is give us the option between our sort of four main objects to go ahead and first of all select which one we want to report on. So perhaps let's do deals this time. So we're creating a report of deals grouped by, and then there's sort of a brief description that you can give, and then sort of a period of time that it wants you to enter here. So again, we'll kind of use the same example as we did with contacts. Let's group it by deals created, and then for time period, let's just say this year. So the nice thing here is if we go ahead and enter that into the chat, you don't have to be specific with the date ranges. So if I were to put in like I did this year, it knows that that is from the 1st of January up until today's date, for example. So you don't have to be overly specific with things like date ranges. Again, what you'll see here is a slightly different report that is generated for us. We still get that text above where it sort of highlights in bold exactly where it's pulled the details from. You can see the from date there, as well as it actually just includes the whole year. So it doesn't necessarily know or include today's date, just does this year so far. So you'll capture everything so far for this year. What it will then do, depending on the data, it can be sort of based on sheer volume of data. It seems to also be on sort of the number of potential data points that you might have as well. It will give you different sort of representations of the data, different graphs, tables, whatever it is. You can see here it's broken this into a table simply just for the 4 months up until, or of course the 4 months of this year so far. And then we've got a count of how many deals in each of those months have gone ahead and been created. So very quickly, pop Copilot out, ask it a question, it'll actually give you the results. You get the answer, but you also get that report. Now we could go ahead, of course, and perhaps add this to a dashboard or edit it further. And if we wanted to, that's where we've got the Edit in Report Builder button. Once we've hit that Report Builder button, it takes us through to the sort of normal screen you'd be used to if you were going ahead and creating a single object report. We could change the chart, we could go into chart settings, we could perhaps even play around with the data sources and maybe make a slightly different report. Again, at the top, you've then got filters again, so that'll be things like our create date and the dates from and to. We could add other filters into here if we wanted to. All of your normal options that you'd expect from a single object report are there, so you can continue to tweak it or change things, like I mentioned, the visualization, the filters, whatever that might be. So you aren't necessarily stuck with what it produces. If you want to present it in a different way, you can. Now, the other way that we can get to or utilize the AI when we're actually creating our reports is to do so from the My Reports screen. So when we're here and we go ahead in the top right and click Create Report, this is where we'll see at the top we have the AI Report Generator button. Now, this is it utilizes the same sort of systems, if you like, as we were used to a moment ago. But of course, it's a slightly different screen. We're not inside of the Copilot pop-out window. But the functionality and the idea behind it is the same. The nice thing with this is where we've got our text box to sort of just type, the request that we wanted. What you'll notice is that we don't have the sort of prompt template, if you like, in here. So we don't have that select the object, select the sort of the filter, and then select the time period. Here we do actually have a totally sort of open free text box of up to 400 characters where we can go ahead and enter the information we want to. It does mention up here, try including details like object, properties, filters, and time range, because ultimately that's how it's been built. That is going to give you the best results. But you've got a bit more freedom here. Play around with it, see what it can do, see if it can produce what you want it to do. Remember, it is still going to be single object only for now. But I mean, as we can kind of see in the top bar here, they are potentially looking to support the other types in the future as well. And that's where this will become even more useful. But for now, with some of these examples, you can see some of the questions you might be asking that a report can go ahead and handle for you. So it's those very quick sort of one-line questions, one object questions that this can just go ahead and make for you. So as you can see here, we've got some examples down here that we could try. Maybe let's try which deals have been updated recently. Very simple question to ask, generate report, and then it will produce something quite similar to what we saw with Copilot. But actually, we're now inside of the reports tool, of course. So we're straight there. We don't have to click on and take me through to the reports tool. We're instantly thrown in. We get really good visibility of the sources and everything that it's kind of set up, any filters if it did so. Of course, we still get the thumbs up and thumbs down everywhere with the AI tools, so we can give that feedback. And then we get sort of thrown into the report that it's gone ahead and generated, where we can play around slightly with some of the filters, of course, add some more advanced ones if we need to. And of course, we've got the options to directly save the report, and then we could go ahead and add that to our dashboard, or we could go ahead and customize it further, which again will then take us through into the kind of report builder that we saw last time. And here, of course, again, we can play around with what it's displaying, the way we summarize the data, perhaps change the chart type we want to use, filters, so on and so on. So it does give us a really nice starting point. And for most of these questions, these really sort of simple questions, what it produces will be what you want. You may just want to change the graph type. And broadly speaking, that's probably about it. So if we were then going to go ahead and save this, we could very quickly then add that to dashboards. Or of course, just simply use that as and when we need to. What I would say is the Copilot method, I think, is a lot nicer if you just want a question answered, but you don't necessarily want to save the report and look at it again. The reporting tool itself is a nice one to come into if you know you're going to sort of be saving this report and adding this report onto dashboards in the future. So two sort of slightly different use cases on how to do it, but ultimately it's producing a single object report from some sort of prompt. So there you go, a little bit of a shorter one, but that is all for this video. I do hope you found it useful or informative. And if you want to learn more about HubSpot or how, of course, we can help you with your implementation within the education sector, then the links you'll need will be on this post or in the description. Bye for now.